So they said to him, "What sign do you do that we may see and believe in you, or place our trust in you? What work do you perform? Our fathers ate the man in the wilderness, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat." So they're giving him a hint as to what sign they would like to do. What are you going to do? Oh, by the way, Moses performed this feeding miracle. All right, so they're trying to prompt him in that direction. Jesus said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, it was not Moses who gave you the bread from heaven. My Father gives you the true bread from heaven." Okay, so here we introduce the idea of Jesus' superiority to Moses. See, it's God the Father that sent down the manna. In fact, Moses didn't really do anything for the manna. He didn't even lift a staff like he did for the crossing of the Red Sea. All he said was, this is going to happen. He conveyed the message from God, and God made it happen. So, it doesn't really count as a miracle of Moses. Moses was just associated with it. For the bread from God, that which comes down from heaven, verse 33, for the bread of God is that which comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. They said to him, "Lord, give us this bread always." All right, says Jesus, I'm going to start explaining this to you. So he says, "I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not hunger, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. But I said to you that you have seen me, and yet you do not believe. All that the Father gives me will come to me, and him who comes to me I will not cast out, for I have come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me. This is the will of him who sent me, that I should lose nothing of all that he has given me, but shall raise it up at the last day. For this is the will of my Father, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him should have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day." Oh, I will raise him up. Okay, again, who can raise the dead but God? This is a huge claim. Okay? Jesus is personally going to enact the resurrection. Look back at Ezekiel 37, where God sends forth the Spirit to raise a whole army of dead bones on this field of battle and put flesh back on them. Jesus is claiming to be that God. Then the Jews murmured at him. And here, the early readers of John's Gospel probably got a wry smile on their face, because the term murmured here, it's a rare term. And it's the same term that's used in the book of Exodus when they were traveling through the wilderness and they started complaining about Moses and saying, we had so much better food back in Egypt, and they began to murmur against Moses. In fact, I just, in a few weeks, I've got a book called Murmuring Against Moses that's going to be published. It's about Old Testament scholarship. But murmur. So, again, for the Jewish reader or the Jewish listener to the Gospel of John, they see the connection. You see all these allusions to Moses going through here. So just as Moses led the people out in the wilderness, fed them with the supernatural food from heaven, which was the manna, and even despite the manna, they still complained and they still murmured because they got tired of the manna because it was the same every day, so on. And so now they're murmuring against the new Moses, or really the one who's greater than Moses.